All right. Well, welcome, Knicks Nation. I don't have my Knicks hat today. We are traveling. Right now, we're in the shoreline of Florida here to take care of some business and visit some people. And that's why I don't have my full contingent of the Knicks hat. And we're in a different place than we normally would be in the hotel on the shoreline. Welcome, Cool Kyle G and June Man. Welcome to y'all. Welcome, Knicks Nation. I hope you're enjoying your weekend and that your people and yourself are safe and healthy and that you're being provided for. Welcome, Torres. Welcome, Fuego Fredo. Welcome to BG Van. And welcome to all of you as we are here on a Sunday of what for most people would be a 3-day weekend. Martin Luther King MLK Day is tomorrow. The Knicks play again against the Mavericks tomorrow. But what we're here to discuss today, what I'd like to talk about today is a couple things. First off, in one sense, I'm just as disappointed as everybody else in the recent losses the Knicks have been suffering. But what I don't like even more is bandwagon people. And situations like this bring out the bandwagon people. The people that are bandwagon people will jump off the Knicks train as quickly as they jump on the Knicks train and will hype the Knicks as quickly as they will crap all over them. And so I really don't have patience for those type of people. And I really wish they would never come to my channel. I'm not one of these that is always, if you would notice, I'm not one of these that will say, please like and subscribe. I don't give a crap if you like, and I don't give a crap if you subscribe. I don't. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate y'all. But you can't just come on here. This channel, as I've said before, is pro Knicks. Y'all understand that? This channel is pro Knicks. I'm not trying to be BSPN and act like I'm objective. No, we are pro Knicks all the time. Pro Knicks. So I'm not one of these that I'm not buying this. For example, some dude came on the other day talking about, well, they don't have the talent to play consistently. And number two, it's impossible to re-sign Deuce. Both of which are false statements. And I asked the person, don't come back. Don't. Because that's bullcrap. First of all, unless you're a copologist, you don't know that they can't re-sign Deuce. They're going to re-sign Deuce, as a matter of fact. Matter of fact, with respect to Deuce McBride, he is now the number one three-point shooter on the Knicks and the number one point of attack defender on the Knicks. So with respect to him, he's only in the second year of a 3-year deal. He has one more year on that deal. Any deal that Deuce signs between now and the summer is counting for the next season, not for 2026-27, but for 27-28. So you don't need to worry about Deuce's contract because it's for 2 years from now. Okay, it's not this season. It doesn't kick in next season. It kicks in the season after next. Okay, so they sign him now, and you don't have to worry about the apron next season. Okay, it doesn't count against the apron next season. So that's that. But with respect to the big issue is Mitchell Robinson, because Mitchell Robinson's a full-fledged, unrestricted free agent coming up. Now, the question is, do we re-sign Mitchell Robinson? This is the thing that decision right now. Unless all of a sudden you were going to get Isaiah Hartenstein, like you were going to get him at the trade deadline. And since you're not, Oklahoma City is not, they're going to let him walk because they're not paying $181 million in taxes next year. They're not going to do it. So they're going to let him walk. But that's after they try to get this chip. So you're not getting Hartenstein right now, no matter what. Okay, you're not getting him. So unless that's happening, you got to let the year play out fully before you make a decision on Mitchell Robinson. You got to let the year play out. Unless you can get somebody in here at the trade deadline that's at least offensive rebounding wise on par with Mitchell Robinson, you're not letting go of Mitchell Robinson right now. And I want to make sure y'all are hearing me. Is that making sense to y'all? So anybody talking about trading Mitchell Robinson now, unless you're getting pitch that brings you offensive rebounding and defense and rim protection, there's no need to talk about it. Because what you want to do is wait until the season is over. Wait until you're in the playoff, and then you can discuss at that time what Mitchell Robinson's value would be. It's obvious we have some value now during the season, but the Knicks, and that brings me to another point, the Knicks are being ultra cautious, not just with Mitchell Robinson, with all the players. Mitchell Robinson the most because he's the most injury prone. But I tell you what, how many of y'all think if this was a playoff weekend, if the Knicks were facing a team in the playoffs last night, do you think that Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson would have played? Testing. Y'all hear me? Would Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson play if this was a playoff, if they were playing in the playoff right now, if they were playing any team in the playoffs that you want to name, would they play? Would they have played last night? If they were in the playoffs against Boston, against Cleveland, against Detroit, they both would have played last night. They both would have played last night. They would not have sat last night, okay? So what does that tell you? It tells you the Knicks are willing to lose games in order to make sure they're ready for the playoffs. Because if Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart had played last night, it might have been a different outcome, but they didn't. So what is your conclusion? It's not that they're not consistent enough to win. That's a stupid conclusion, and it's not for this channel. What the conclusion is, the Knicks are being ultra cautious. And Mike Brown said that. They said, we're going to be cautious. They're going to be ultra cautious. The Knicks are not worried about making the playoffs. They're not worried about being top 6 in the East. They are, and they're going to be. I just went through the roster, right? You go through the roster, and you want to see how many games the full contingent played together, right? And as I go through the roster and I'm looking at the Knicks, the number of games played, I'm using Landry Shamet as the litmus. Why? Because he has missed the most games, right? Landry Shamet has missed the most games. So Landry Shamet had been available this year for a total of 17 games. He's been available. And so that's the maximum number of games that the full contingent would have played, 17. Probably less than that because he could have been playing at times when Brunson wasn't playing. In fact, we know he did, and when Mitch wasn't playing. But the maximum number of games the Knicks have had their full contingent this year is 17. Okay? So, and then, of course, during this winning streak, there has not been a game where they've had the full deck. There's not been a game. Looking at last night's game, first off, on the positive note, Brown, started Diawara. He has a habit of starting Diawara and playing him, very small minutes. But Diawara played 12 total minutes, was +4. In fact, it was only Diawara and Deuce that were plus. It was only Diawara and Deuce. No, Colo, please understand what an excuse is. An excuse is something you use in place of a fact. When I tell you they have not had a full contingent, that is not an excuse. That is a fact. They have not had a full contingent. See, that's what the type of idiots I don't want here. It's not an excuse to say they have not had their full contingent. They have not. Okay? An excuse would be they had their full contingent and somebody had a hangnail. That's an excuse. And the Knicks themselves would not use what I just said. But the truth is they have not had their full contingent for more than 17 games this season. And it's less than that. And the reason I brought that up is because they're close to getting their full contingent. As a matter of fact, I was surprised that Josh Hart was out last night. I don't know if y'all was. I thought, I'm looking at the starting lineup and I'm like, wait, we're missing somebody. And I had to look for a couple minutes. I saw Deuce and I saw DOR and I said, who are we missing? And I realized it was Josh Hart. And I was not expecting to not have Josh Hart last night. I thought Brunson might be missing. It was a possibility, but I didn't think we'd miss both of them. So I'm hoping on Monday, tomorrow, we have the full contingent because we're going to have Josh Hart, hopefully, Jalen Brunson, and of course Mitchell Robinson and Landry Shamet. So you'll be having the full contingent. Look at that. Look at this here. If you look at good morning, Miss Lumley. If you look at and please try your best not to throw out like Hollywood cliches, like no excuses or they should have won or they should have been tougher. That BS belongs with Popeye Doyle on Hoosiers. I mean, come on, stop it. This is the league, okay? Look at it as the league, not as high school or college. This ain't college. This is the league. So, yes, they have not had their full contingent, and it shows. Now, last night, looking at last night's game, 106-99. What does that tell you right off the bat? 106-99 in the league in 2026. What does that tell you? That's a low-scoring game. That's a low-scoring game, okay? That's a low-scoring game. And it's a defensive game. It's a defensive, low-scoring game, 106-99. The Knicks shot 32% from three, 76% from the line, 40% from the field. Phoenix shot 36% from three, 85% from the line, and the free throw wasn't that much of a discrepancy, and 41% from three. So the shooting was kind of close. The Knicks did not shoot as well as Phoenix from three, but it was kind of close. And the game was a low-scoring game, which tells you it was a defensive game. If it's a defensive game, that is an improvement. It wasn't 127-132 last night. It was 106-99. That's a low-scoring game, okay? So that's actually an improvement going forward because of the defense. Now, again, we didn't have our full contingent, but what we're getting in this losing area of the season is the full development of one Deuce McBride. Have y'all noticed that before you're yelling excuses and talking about the Knicks can't win and all this BS? Have you noticed Deuce McBride becoming what we thought he was going to be? You know, it's just like Biggie said, he's blowing up like we thought he would. You know, this is the thing, y'all, with respect to Deuce. I think some of y'all have been with my channel at least as long as when we, when he got Deuce, right? Y'all, some of y'all been here when I was hyping to go get Deuce for the Knicks to draft Deuce, if you recall, right? Hello, Ms. Stevenson. I was hyping for them when he was coming out of West Virginia because I knew he would be a Tibbs type dude. And people were at the time were saying he could not shoot, and I was disagreeing, saying yes, he can shoot. How did I know that? Well, first he could shoot at West Virginia, but that's college. Then he came in the summer league and he could shoot, and he had the vibe, the feel of a shooter. Then he went to the G League and was scoring 30 a game. So I knew he could shoot. It's just a matter of minutes. And in fact, whenever Deuce would have a big game and somebody might bring him or somebody would ask him, what's the difference? And you know what he would say most of the time? Tell me if you heard this. He would say, more minutes. That's what he would say, more minutes. The difference between what you saw tonight and what you normally see is he got more minutes. He wasn't just situational. So now he's starting really the season before this past one. He was starting to get more minutes because of injuries. And then last year, Tibbs had him as a really fixture in the rotation, and he was showing more. And this year, Brown is using him more as he should. And what I noticed last night that is going to help us going forward. Deuce had hit, I think, was 2 3-pointers. He was coming down the floor, and Cat came out calling for the ball at the 3-point line, and Deuce was waving him off. And Cat was calling again. Cat said, no, give me. And Deuce told him move. And when he finally moved, Deuce went and hit another 3-pointer, which in the past, Deuce would have just gave Cat the ball and backed off. But what he did was he waved Cat off again and said, move. And Cat got that memo the second time and moved, and Deuce hit the 3. And now that shows you Deuce is now confident enough in his leadership to tell somebody like Cat or Brunson or whoever, I need you to move out the way. And some guys, like last night, they saw the Cat was hitting and they was trying to get him in position to score. So that's going to help us going forward. Last night, Brown stuck with the bench. If y'all tell me if y'all notice what I noticed, Brown stuck with the bench youngins too long. Did y'all notice that? He stuck with the bench youngins too long. And when you look at the final results of the bench last night, Kolick was minus 17. Clarkson was minus 13. And then after Yabusele was plus 8, but he only played 9 minutes, which was going to get diminishing returns anyway. But Clarkson and Kolick just did not have it last night. They just did not have it last night. So you're talking about minus 30 between the two of them. You cannot. And then when you look at the scoring for the bench scoring last night, you end up 11, 12, 13, 14. You got 14 points from your bench last night. Now, why? Of course, you got to get 30 points. We talk about this. You got to get 30 points from the bench to be successful in the championship run. You need about 30 points a night from the bench. So the Knicks were less than half that. Now, why is that? Well, let's think about this. If Josh Hart and Brunson were there last night, and then you got Shamet, and you had those two, and you got Deuce. So now you get Josh Hart and Brunson in there. Deuce comes to the bench. Deuce gonna get 30 minutes from the bench. And look, Deuce is averaging 7 attempts. I think maybe even more than that. He's averaging at least 7 3-point attempts per game. Let me just make sure. Yeah, he's averaging Brunson is averaging 8 and Deuce is averaging 7 3-pointer attempts a game. Deuce is playing 28 minutes a game. Okay, Deuce is playing 28 minutes a game. That's going to continue. So now when you bring in Deuce with Shamet, and I don't think I have to convince y'all, we've seen them do work together. When you got Deuce and Shamet with Clarkson and MitchRob, you're going to have a much better scoring output from your bench. Putting Deuce in the starting lineup helps the starting lineup, but it hurts the bench. Yeah, it helps the starting lineup, but it hurts the bench. So, yeah, thank you. So, and 20 assists. Yeah, that's another thing. 20 assists last night. Yeah, you're right. That's not going to cut it either. 20 assists. They had 47 rebounds and 20 assists. Deuce had 5 assists and OG had 5 assists, but nobody else. The ball wasn't moving very well last night at all. It wasn't moving very well. So there's a couple of things, but I still am hopeful that when we get our full deck, we'll be better, especially Brunson and Hart with Mitchell Robinson and Deuce. And then we still need a replacement for Yabusele. Somebody asked me, and I don't know why y'all don't get it. When I say we need a replacement for Yabusele, I'm not talking about off season. I'm talking about now, which means by the trade deadline. We need a replacement going into the playoffs for Yabusele. We need a replacement. We need that depth at that position. And so it's very important to get depth at that position. So now if you have a replacement, and we talk about Precious and we talk about Sadiq Bey, if you have a replacement, and then Jeremy Sohan was also mentioned, he's another guy that's a good possibility. When you're talking about that coming in to replace Yabusele, you're getting more production from your bench. Okay. Andrew Abraham, I was just talking about that before you came in. The maximum that we've had the full contingent this season is 17. And the reason I came up with that is because 17 games is the amount of games that Shamet played. So if you don't have Shamet, you don't have full contingent. So the maximum, and even with Shamet played, y'all remember, Shamet started a couple of times when when Brunson was out. So the maximum number of games we've had our full contingent is 17, and it's probably less than 17. So we have to at least give the Knicks a chance to see what they can be with their full contingent. That's what I'm saying. So the only thing, I like Dink Pate too, but it's worthless. Why are we discussing him? We're trying to win a chip this year. Dink Pate ain't gonna be part of this championship run. Dink Pate's time starts in the summer. And I'm glad we got him, and I hope they sign him to a two-way deal right now. But that ain't what Dink Pate ain't gonna help us right now. He ain't gonna help us right now. Right now, we need what we got. And if we need another body, it should be a guy on the level of Precious Achiuwa or Saddiq Bey. That means somebody that's played pro ball, knows how to play pro ball, and is ready to play playoff pro ball. Y'all catching that? That's what we're talking about. Okay. Yes, I like Dink Pate. Move on. We trying to win this chip here. Okay. So the maximum that we've had our full contingent, Andrew, is 17 games. It's probably less than that. I would say probably even 14 games. They did, because it was a 106-99 game. So that tells you they played better defense. They played better defense yesterday. They need to be, and I think they will be, a little more aggressive. Look, I know Cat has some stupid fouls, but look at the foul situation last night. Cat had 5. Mikal Bridges had 4. MitchRob had 3, and Clarkson had 3. Aside from Cat, that's not really no foul trouble. You want to see more fouls. Now, Deuce didn't have no fouls, but he was +6 because you know why? Deuce is playing defense with his feet. He's getting up under people. He's getting in under people, getting up in it. And so if you want to see how to play perfect defense on the perimeter, watch Deuce McBride. Because that boy is textbook on that. Okay. So, and he is guarding guys that McCall is supposed to be, because McCall on the DL, he's playing like crap right now. He is not playing the maximum Mikal Bridges, but he's going to. I'm not worried about him, but last night he was missing assignments. People was running past him. He was throwing the ball all over the place. I mean, and this is where we got to be patient. He had 3 turnovers last night. We got to be patient because McCall will come around just like he did last year. But and so that's what I'm saying. So we did better last night, but we need to do better. I mean, McCall was jogging back after he threw the ball away, and somebody was running. I forgot, and he could have caught him, but he was jogging back. And Brown called the timeout and got in his behind immediately, which was the right thing to do. But there's some stuff we got to get done right properly. I was a little disgusted at some of them defensive sequences that I saw, but overall, they had Deuce on Booker, and they had Deuce on every guy that's the top guy. They put Deuce on him. And this should be some OG and some McCall also. I mean, they wing stop for a reason. Yeah. So we really we do in Brooklyn Boy, I think it's Brooklyn Boy 88. You're right. I mean, they definitely need some improvement. There's no doubt. They definitely need some improvement. And I believe we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. But I'd like to see us with our full contingent. So to me, I was looking at this game as a litmus with our full contingent. That's why I was disappointed when I didn't see Josh Hart out there. I kind of thought maybe Brunson would sit, but they're being really cautious. If it was a playoff game, both them cats would have played. Okay, if it was a playoff game, both them cats would have played. But it's not. And the Knicks are being very cautious with the roster. Very cautious. The only move, again, I would make is to move Yabusele and try to get somebody in here that can give us production from that spot. They don't got to be a 2010 guy, but we got to get somebody that knows how to score, knows how to play defense, can guard multiple positions, can score from multiple positions. And like I said, Precious and Saddiq Bey and Jeremy Sohan fit that. So Sohan, Bey, Precious, they all fit that description. Okay. Sohan would be interesting because he's from London. and OG's from London. That would be interesting. Him and OG, they both kind of that British thing, both of them. So we'll see. But I think they're going to get better. So here come Monday. Dallas is coming to town. I'm hoping we get our full contingent. Like, I'm looking at the injury report right now, and I'm only seeing at this point, I've only seen Brunson and Hart, and both of them are day to day. Okay, both of them are day to day. So they have Brunson is out from last night, but they listed, Mike Brown said he was day to day. So here we go. So, I'm hoping tomorrow we get the full contingent of both them cats, plus our regular dudes. So we'll have Brunson, Hart, OG, McCall, and Cat. And then you have Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Shamet, Clarkson. I know, people are sensitive about Tyler Kolek. I get it. I like Tyler Kolek. But we could have did without him last night. Especially how many minutes Brown played him. I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? He played him 17 minutes, which is about 7 minutes more than he should have. But anyway, it'll hopefully be back to the regular contingent Monday. That's what I'm looking forward to. Can we play with our regular guys on Monday and see how this shows out, man? And listen, we need Brunson to pass the daggone ball to Cat, make sure he's not forcing anything just because he's been out. He ain't got to prove nothing. He's going to be an all-star. Brunson, as far as I saw, Brunson got the second most votes in the Eastern Conference. So he's definitely starter for the all-star game. He's going to start. Who's the other guard that's going to start? Is it Maxey? I forgot. I think is it Maxey that's going to start at guard? I know Brunson is going to be one of the two. And I think it's Maxey. Am I missing somebody? Or I don't think it's Donovan Mitchell. What y'all think? Is it Donovan Mitchell? Who's the second one that had the most votes? Let me see. Just check here. NBA.com. Let me see who it tells you at the end of the day who got the votes. All-star. All right, let's see. Let's see here. So Luka and Giannis got the most votes. Okay. So Giannis, it's Giannis, Brunson, Maxey, Cade, Donovan Mitchell, Brown, Cat, and then Jalen Johnson from Atlanta. Probably all of those 8 guys are going to probably make the all-star team, but Brunson's going to be a starter in the all-star game. Brunson's going to be a starter. Yeah, so is what it is. But so, he ain't got to prove nothing to nobody's my point. He could just play within the game and help the Knicks win. That's what we're hoping. He can just play within this in the flow and help the Knicks win. That's what we want, man. We ain't got to worry about him proving that he's all NBA. We know he is. Same with Cat. So we just need them to help us win in the flow. That's what we need. But for now, we just got to stay tight, focused as fans on the longer term outlook. Let's see what this looks like in May. Let's see what this looks like in April. Okay. So 32 is not a championship piece. You can get the hell out of here right now. I don't like you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me get you out of here. Let me just get rid of you right now. So I don't have to see your face. I'm sorry, 32 is not a championship piece. Everybody has a brain. Every human body has a heart. Every human body has an anal cavity. I try to get rid of as many anal cavities as I can. I'm going to come in here, 32 is not a championship piece. That's what I'm saying. This is a Knicks channel. That means we favor the Knicks. Now, you can't come in my room talking about 32, who's one of the starters, is not a championship piece, and claim. Like somebody came the other day and said, I support the Knicks. I just can't support Brown as the coach. So then I said, look, if you say you can't say you support the Knicks and don't support the coach, because that means that you're going to be negative on the coach and it has the same effect as not supporting the team. And he didn't understand that. I said, you can't say I'm supporting the team, but not the coach. You're bringing negativity. You're being disloyal to the team. See, people, that's what I'm saying. In this day and age, man, people like to talk out of both sides of their mouth and act like they didn't mean it. Man, get the hell out of here. Man, get the hell out of here, man. We're not having that, man. Either you win or you out. That's all it is. Either you win or you out. I'm in. And so I'm all in on this Knicks team. I don't care how many games they just lost. I don't care. I'm still all in. This is orange and blue, Nick. Excuse me. This is orange and blue. Shoot. That's all I'm saying. This orange and blue. Yeah. And you know what? That's the thing, though, Andrew. You right. But what it is people can sit behind their keyboard and say any stupid thing they want. And it's not just basketball. I think y'all have noticed people sit behind the keyboard and say some of the dumbest crap you ever seen in your life, man. I'd be like, who? And I thought to myself, I always think to myself, let me catch myself, because this is just some knucklehead with one hand on his gonads and one hand on the keyboard. And maybe he's looking at some picture or something that he's lusting after while he's trying to type something. He ain't got no sense at all. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. You hear what I'm saying? So, yeah, so what the hell? So, yeah, but usually Coach Hauser, the first two players are starters. That's the way they at least sometimes the first four. In the case of the Eastern Conference, the first four are all like, you got Giannis and three guards. You got Giannis, Brunson, Maxey, Cunningham. So usually the first 4 or 5 are starters, and then they start voting the rest of that. That's how they do it. So Brunson's going to be a starter. It's just he's the second most vote, so he's going to be a starter. Question is, who else is going to be out there? So we have to see what happens, man. I mean, when you look at the votes, you got Giannis. Let's count Giannis as a center. So you got center, guard, 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 guard. And then you got small forward, center. So, and then Jalen Johnson, I would count him as a forward, right? He's like a forward, 6'9". He can play the 3 or the 4. Then you got Michael Porter Jr. from Brooklyn at 9. That's amazing. And then Pascal, Ingram, BI, usual contingent after that. But you're looking at center, guard, 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 forward, center. That's your top 7. So, yeah. Michael Servadio, I hope that's right, that he hasn't lost the locker room. The thing is about Mike Brown, though, that's unlike Tom Thibodeau. A guy like a McCall or a Brunson especially, or a Cat, can come to Mike Brown and say, Mike, yeah, you're playing some guys too many minutes. Mike, we need to do something about this defense. Mike, they can come to him. That's the collaborator part of Mike Brown. Like with Tom Thibodeau, if you came to him with that, he wouldn't play you no more. That's it. Yeah, thanks, Syke. That's it. So, yeah, OG, where is he listed at? OG is number 13th in the list here. So I think he should be an all-star. I think so. OG is him and all right. So OG, tell me if I'm wrong, y'all. OG, Deuce, and when he plays Mitchell Robinson have been highlights at their respective positions and at their respective roles. So for the Knicks this year, they've had in and out consistency with McCall, Brunson, depending on if he decides he wants to pass the ball or not. Cat, depending on if he decides he wants to actually play or not. And so you got inconsistency from those guys. But Deuce has been a consistent point of attack defender, 3-point shooter. Now he's learning. Now he's getting confidence to play, making direct traffic. Deuce has been consistent. So has OG. OG has been consistent. And then when MitchRob plays, like last night, MitchRob was -5, I think. But the caveat with MitchRob is the offensive rebounding. So he got 5 offensive rebounds last night, which means that they got 5 extra possessions from Mitchell Robinson last night. So that's not quantified in terms of points. I mean, I don't know how they would quantify it as they didn't score in that, but right now, I think the Knicks team, and this is where being in the league is important. This is not high school. Mike Brown might lose the locker room if it was high school, or if it was college, or if the Knicks sucked as a team, they had no shot at winning the champ, like some idiots come in here and say. But every man on that team, especially the rotation, believes they could win. They believe they could win. Mike Brown believes they could win. Jalen Brunson believes they can win. Deuce McBride believes they can win. Josh Hart believes they could. They all believe they could win. So if that's the case, they're going to keep listening to Brown. He ain't going to lose them as long as they think they can win. If they really thought there's no chance of us winning with this coach, he could lose them. But he's not going to lose the locker room. And so if you think about it with that logic, that, okay, so they still have a chance to win it all, and they believe that, then he ain't losing the locker room. They're going to stick with him. Okay? Now, if there was a collapse and they end up really looking bad down the stretch and not doing good at all in the playoffs, well, that's a different story. But right now, that's not a problem. Right now, to me, the focus should be, as somebody mentioned already, improvement on the defensive end, tightening up the rotation, which means getting back your full contingent of players. I think that's why the rotation hasn't been tight yet. We haven't had our full contingent. And again, somebody tried to say that's an excuse. No, that's not an excuse. That's a fact. We have not had our full contingent. We finally got Landry Shamet back. We got Mitchell Robinson. Now we got to get Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart back. Okay, we got Jordan Clarkson has played, I think, every game this year. So he's been pretty healthy, and we need a replacement for Gershon Yabusele. He has not worked out. We need a replacement for him. So that's the deal. And we can get all that together. And again, no team, when you come into training camp, there's favorites, but no team is guaranteed anything in the league. No team is. I mean, it was like when Dame Dollar came to Milwaukee, everybody thought Milwaukee was going to be all that, right? Well, we was wrong. When PG-13 came to Philly, everybody thought Philly was going to take the East. They was wrong. Philly is better now with the rookie, with the rookie and with Edgecombe, with the rookie and Grimy. They're better now than when they got PG-13. See, but nobody is guaranteed anything. Coming into this season, the clear choice of everybody to repeat was OKC, and that's still the clear choice, but that doesn't guarantee they ain't going to get beat. Again, if you recall last year, Halliburton messed his Achilles up in the 7th game. That means they went 6 games and it ended up being 3-3, them two teams. Okay, 3-3. So that's telling you, it wasn't like, if y'all recall when Dr. J won his only NBA championship with Moses Malone, in the beginning of the playoffs, somebody interviewed Moses, said, how you think this playoff's going to go? And Moses said, foe. In other words, we're going to run through y'all. And they did. Okay. Them days are kind of over. Nobody doing that these days. It's the parody is such that one injury can change the whole dynamic. Okay. One injury to one player. And it's not necessarily going to be the star. We know, put it this way. Do y'all understand? If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is done for the year, Oklahoma's chance of winning the championship have greatly diminished. Right? There'll still be a good team, but winning the chip, no. Okay. If Golden State loses Stephen Curry, forget it. Forget it. Okay. Right? Forget it. Just forget it. If the Lakers lose Luka, forget it. Forget it. If the Knicks lose Brunson, forget it. See, just like Tatum with Boston. Boston's doing great, but they got a hard road to hoe without Tatum. Okay. So if you lose a piece like that, it changes everything. But then there's other pieces. Like if Oklahoma City was to lose a Dort or a J-Dub, if they lose a Dort or a J-Dub, that changes everything. And they still got a great team. If Boston was to lose Jaylen Brown, it's over. If they was to lose Jaylen Brown or Derek White, either one, it's over. Forget it. It's over. Okay? So you got secondary pieces that if they can't perform for injury or whatever, that team is done. Okay? That team is done. So that's because of the high level of parity that you have in the league right now. That's the high level of parity you have in the league right now. So you could lose the star piece and you're done, or you could lose a secondary piece and you could be done also. So if the Knicks were to lose Mitchell Robinson for the season, that'd be hard. That'd be hard to swallow. That's why they're taking such caution with him. Such caution to make sure he's going to be available. Because if they lose Mitchell Robinson, their championship hopes are done. Done. Okay? And it's not like Mitch Rob is the star of the team. That don't matter. He's the best offensive rebounder in the league. And you're going to want that in the playoffs. He's an elite rim protector. You're going to want that. Okay? So you don't have to necessarily lose your star to be done. You don't. If Detroit lost Cade Cunningham, done. They are done. See, last year, they took the Knicks 6 games with no Jaden Ivey. So they can play without Jaden Ivey, but not without Cade Cunningham. If you got Cade Cunningham, but you don't have Jalen Duren, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Or you don't have Beef Stew, that's going to be tough. If you don't have Ausar Thompson, if you don't have, let's say you got everybody, but you don't have Thompson, that's going to be tough. You see what I'm saying? Am I lying to y'all? So if Detroit had everybody healthy except Thompson, no Thompson, that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard for them. And it's the same with everybody. So when I say the Knicks haven't had their full contingent, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Championship teams need depth. You cannot win with just your starting 5. Okay? Championship teams need depth. And we were all talking about the Knicks depth before the season. All of us were talking about that for good reason. But we haven't had it for more than 17 games. Okay? We haven't had it. Okay? But it's right on the cusp. Okay? Yeah, right. Without Halliburton. Well, Indy's been dealing with a lot of injuries, right? So they have no Halliburton, right? And no Miles Turner, right? It's raining men was important to them, that right? Without it's raining men, they wouldn't have got to those. They wouldn't have beat us. They wouldn't have got to the finals without it's raining men. Okay, last night. Okay, so you got Halliburton, you got this raining men, and then you was missing Nesmith for a lot of the season. See, you can't win without these guys. Then, of course, Obi's been missing. Obi's been missing, right? So you got no it's raining men, you got no Obi, you got sometimes Nesmith, and you got no Halliburton. Guess what? They got no chance. They got no chance. Okay, no shot. The Knicks do have a shot. Why? Because even though we've only had our full contingent for less than 17 games, you can see, tell me you can't see that that's coming, that they're going to eventually have, in fact, tomorrow night, I would be greatly disappointed if I did not see the full contingent tomorrow night. We should see it tomorrow night. We should have Brunson. We should have Hart. We should have Mitchell Robinson and Deuce and Shamet. We should have Jordan Clarkson, right? All those cats should be playing tomorrow. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. People writing off the Knicks are short-sighted and they're just bandwagon guys. I don't want y'all here. I need somebody that believes in our team, regardless. Hart was out because they were what did they call it? They were resting, basically, for lack of a better term. They were resting the right ankle. Ankle has been ruled outside of this game. They were resting the right ankle. They're just being cautious. Being cautious. So Hart right ankle. No, Hart left ankle. Brunson right ankle. I think that's how it went. Right? I think that's how it went. So we should get Brunson back tomorrow. He better not wear them daggone violet color sneakers no more, because every time he does, he messes up his ankle. So you need to leave. I don't know. Somebody said that's Kobe's daughter's sneakers. Leave it with Kobe's daughter. Shoot. And make sure he's wearing some daggone braces on his ankle or something. Daggone, man. You see what I'm saying? Dad. So I'm expecting Brunson and Josh. And if we get them two back, we have a full contingent tomorrow. Right? So I would like to see that. Oh, is that right? Oh, he done messed up then. They need to design him a new sneaker, Guilford. Shoot. They need to design him a new sneaker. Nobody even touched him. His toe seemed to get stuck in the floor and his ankle twisted. I mean, dang, man. Yeah, get rid of them sneakers or something. Ewings, right? Let him wear Ewing. Let me ask y'all. Y'all know did y'all notice what was Shamet wearing the other night when he first came back and they won? He was wearing some black high top. Did y'all reckon that? What was he wearing, man? That's what my man need to wear. What was Shamet wearing? Shamet was wearing some high top, look almost like old time football sneakers. He's wearing Kobe's. Okay. Brunson better get Kobe's, man. Tell the Bryant family, listen, I'm gonna just wear your daddy's sneaker for a couple of days. Something. Oh yeah. Curry had major ankle problems for like the first 3 years of his career. Major ankle problems. You know who else had major ankle problems almost to the point where you thought he was done? Kurt Thomas. Kurt Thomas come out of TCU. He was drafted by the Miami Heat, and he was always breaking his ankles or twisting them. They put double ankle braces on him. He would still hurt his ankle. It took a couple of seasons for some reason. Kurt Thomas, I think, led the nation in scoring and rebounding at TCU. I think it was TCU. And he came to Miami, and he kept spraining his ankle, breaking his ankle. Fine, I don't know what they did, but eventually he got over that. Yeah, he was, and eventually he got over that. And then by the time he come to New York, obviously he didn't have that problem no more. Yeah, so crazy eyes, right? Google eyes. Yo, I saw they had Anthony Mason's widow. Did y'all see her last night? Anthony Mason's widow represented him at the game. Yeah. The thought that came to my mind was Biggie's song. I was like, was Biggie with her? And I got a story to tell. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Was Biggie, when she came, she was representing, rest in peace, Anthony Mason. That was his woman. And I was like, wait, was she the woman that Biggie came to visit? And I got a story to tell. So if it was her, I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, didn't Bill Bradley look good for somebody who's like 100 years old? He looked good, man. Him and Clyde, they look good, man. Yeah, no X-Man. Oakley, I think Oakley's absence is on Oakley. Yeah, that's the first thing came to my mind. I said, was that who Biggie was with? He said, remember during the song, he said, I don't know, must have had a rain out or something. He said, my homie came home early. He said he must have had a rain out or something. He came home early. And I was like, who is the woman? And then when they show Anthony Mason's woman, I was like, oh, shoot. And I was thinking of her, like, she looked like, well, she didn't look like, anyway, she didn't look like the 8 or 9 that she might have been 25 years ago when that song came out, right? Yeah. Right. Oh gosh. So I was like, oh, is that so? I was thinking, I'm trying to picture her 25 years or 20 years ago. She probably was, a solid 9 at that time, right? She probably was a solid 9 back then, so I could see Biggie, making a visit. Oh gosh, man. Yes, John Starks was there last night. I saw John Starks, Bob McAdoo. Only people missing was y'all said X-Man wasn't there. I don't know why X-Man wasn't there. They should have invited X-Man. And I could understand why Oakley wasn't there. Oakley just bite. I feel despite his face. I think that's what it is. Gerald Wilkins was there. Gerald Wilkins was there last night. Gerald Wilkins was there. I saw him. I saw they went and got almost everybody. Marcus Camby was there. Everybody was there. Only we're missing is Charles Oakley and X-Man. I know Eddie Curry and Roger Mason. I was like, dang, they remembered he played for the Knicks. Dang. Marbury, Mello, Felton. That's right. Well, my understanding now, I'm not in the room with none of these cats, but my understanding is that Dolan's people reached out to Oak, and Oak refused to respond. That's my understanding. That Dolan's people reached out to Oak a couple of years ago, and Oak was so mad he didn't respond. Yeah, where was Charlie Ward? That's right. We was missing Charlie Ward and Gallinari and Wilson Chandler, right? Wilson Chandler, Charlie Ward, Danilo Gallinari. I know. A cup of coffee for real, JL. Cup of coffee, and he was there. I was like, what the hell? Look, they're going to do, what was the dude from Kentucky that the Knicks drafted number 1 in 1988? Can't remember his name now. Kenny Skywalker. Kenny Skywalker was there. I said, Kenny Skywalker's here. Wow. Yeah, they had everybody there. Oh, Danilo was there, Jake? I didn't see him. Gallinari was there. I did not see him. Okay, I was glad y'all bore witness. I missed him. I did not see him. Ronaldo Balkman, I know. I know Kenny Skywalker had the dreads and the shade. I thought it was pretty cool, though. He had the dreads and the shades. They say he's working in Kentucky with the team, so that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, but when I saw Mrs. Mason, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is that what Biggie was dealing with back in the day, 25 years ago? That was the rain out system. Okay. Oh. I didn't see Bibby. And I didn't see Prigioni either, right? Bibby or Prigioni. Maybe Prigioni works for Minnesota, so man, they could have been on the road somewhere, They could have been on the road somewhere. Bibby's working for somebody too, like he's on somebody's team. So yeah, they did have dudes from the 60s, 70s, all the way up, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010s, 2020. They had dudes all the way up, man. I know they had dudes all the way up from the 60s, man. Shoot. So I was thinking, so a couple of these guys got commitments, probably couldn't make it because of commitments. David Lee wasn't there? I was surprised. David Lee wasn't there? I thought David Lee was there. David Lee wasn't there? I thought David Lee was there. But anyway, yeah, man. Oh, he wasn't there, Kev? Okay. All right. I thought I saw him. McAdoo, I definitely saw McAdoo. Oh, David Lee. I thought I saw David Lee there. I thought I saw him in the crowd of players. I thought I saw him. Malik said David Lee was there. Drake. Malik said he was there. Yeah, the Don did change the culture. We got to give him that, right, Coach Hauser? The Don changed the culture. Coach Hauser is right. He did. And he brought in culture changes. I mean, like him or hate him, the Don brought in Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau brought toughness back to the Knicks. Toughness and defense. Tell me I'm lying. Tom Thibodeau brought tough. You may not like him or whatever, but he brought toughness and defense back to Madison Square Garden. And that was a hire from the Don. Okay. The Don changed the culture. And you got to give James Dolan with the thing, and the Don then ran with it and then played three-dimensional chess. Everybody's so used to looking at checkers, and Don said, no, recognize this is chess. This ain't checkers, right? Recognize. Yeah, so I like that. They got to get Charles Oakley back, though, right? I mean, to me, it'll be complete when you get Oak back. You got to get Oak back. I was glad to see Latrell. Allen Houston, Ewing, they working for the organization. Oh yeah, Tibbs, somebody gonna hire Tibbs. If you're looking to bring culture of defense and toughness to your team, and obviously a lot of people are because they bringing that against the Knicks, you're gonna get Thibodeau. He gonna be in it. Tibbs is a basketball junkie. His wife is the NBA. He should have a ring on for his wife is the NBA. That's his wife. That's his woman, the NBA. See, so Larry Johnson works for the team. Yeah, so they really changed the culture. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Worldwide West. That's what Breen was saying. Worldwide West. The Don. They did Dolan. They really put together some stuff now. So this is good, man. So yeah, I'm waiting for this deadline move too, Coach House. I'm trying to say. I want to see Sadiq or Precious. I don't care. Give me one of them. Third in my list is Sohan, but I don't mind any of them cats. You know, I don't mind any of them cats, man. Yeah, Oakley is stiff-necked Hebrew. There's no doubt. Oakley's a stiff-necked Hebrew. There's no doubt about it. You got that. You ain't lied yet, Organic Fanatic. You ain't lied yet. You ain't lied yet. You ain't lied yet. Slick, who's that? Is it still active, Ace of Spades? Seriously? Oh, come on. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Oh my God. I don't understand. And Michael Drake, please help me. And I'm serious. Michael Drake, listening. Why would we want Alvarado? Where would he play? Who's going to sit that we can play Jose Alvarado? That's what I want to know. I know you talking Kolek. Okay, so Kolek's gone. But look, Alvarado's a guard, right? So you're going to play. Let's look at our guards. You got Jalen Brunson with Mikal Bridges. That's your starting backcourt. You got Deuce McBride, right? You got Jordan Clarkson, right? That's your backup. Where's Alvarado going to play? I just want to know. I'm serious. Somebody tell me, because I don't understand even a mention of him. Unless you're trading Tyler Kolek. I don't understand. So you got Deuce, Shamet, Jordan Clarkson. I'm wondering, where does he play? I'm serious. Somebody tell me, where does he play? Because I don't see where he would get any minutes. So what's the purpose of trading for him? Yeah, but I'm saying you telling me what we need. I'm asking you a specific question. Where would Mr. Alvarado play? That's all I want to know. Do you think he's going to take minutes from Brunson or McCall or Deuce or Shamet or Clarkson? That's what I'm saying. We need doesn't tell me anything. Where is he going to play tells me. Okay, so if you tell me, for example, all right, let's say we get Jeremy Sohan. JL is mentioning Sohan. Let's say we get one of Sohan, Bay, or Precious. You get one of them. I could tell you they're going to play rotation minutes. Why? Because they can play 4 or 3 in the case of Bay. They can play 4 or 3 or 5 in the case of Sohan and Precious. So I could tell you where they're going to play. They're going to get rotation minutes. They're going to take Yabusele's minutes and probably add a few minutes that would have gone to Kolek. But I don't know where Alvarado would play. That's what I'm saying. I understand the idea, like Michael Drake said, we need some defense. I hear you. But you got to take somebody out to put somebody in. So the question I'm always asking when people throw names up, I'm saying, okay, who's going out? If you say, okay, so Michael Drake, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny either. I'm just saying, Michael Drake, would you trade Tyler Kolek with Yabusele to get Alvarado? That's what I'm asking. So would you trade, because you're going to have to get rid of a guard. You got too many guards. So would you trade Tyler Kolek with Yabusele? Well, that's what you're going to have to do because if you kept Kolek, let's say you kept Kolek, so you would have as point guards Brunson, Deuce, Kolek, 3 point guards. You would have as combo guards And by the way, did y'all notice McCall played some point guard last night? Did y'all notice that? McCall Bridges played point guard last night. So you got McCall, Jordan Clarkson, and Shaman. So I'm just wondering, you have so many guards. What are you going to do with all of these guards, man? So that's what I'm saying. And the Don, like I said, people don't like the Obi trade, but the Don was doing Obi a favor. Obi got $60 million and he got rotation minutes, and he would have been a starter. But after that trade, they got Siakam. Okay, but that's how it went, man. So I mean, but he tries to do people. All of a sudden, he trades IQ. IQ gets 175 million, and he's a starter. Okay, but he tries to hook up the dudes. He tries to hook brothers up, and he even with the boy from Duke there. I forgot his name, but the boy from Duke that we got, Josh Hart. We traded him to get Josh Hart. I like that boy. And he went to Portland and got opportunity to play, but he kept getting hurt. He's now in the ambulance school. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just wondering where he would play. Cam Reddish, right. Thank you, Coach House. Cam Reddish. So I'm wondering where Alvarado would fit. I can understand. Like, to me, when I kept hearing them talk about Alvarado, I was like, oh, they trading Cole. Why else would you have him? They must be trading Cole. And they must be trading somebody else with Cole. Another guard, because you got too many guards. Okay, so yeah. So Yabusele's minutes will go to somebody. Like I said, I could see Sohan, Bay, Precious. So they would get the 8 to 10 minutes Yabu got, and they would probably take another 5 minutes from Kolek because he wouldn't be playing. And so whoever that person is would get between 15, 16 minutes a game. That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about. See, so yeah, I was infatuated with Cam Reddish's talent. I really liked the talent level of Cam Reddish. I did not realize he was going to be in the Anthony Ambulance School of Unavailability. I didn't realize that. Same with Frank Ntilikina. He's in the groin department. He is the chairman of the pulled groin department of Anthony Ambulance University. But Cam Reddish had a smoothness to his game that I liked the way he played, man. I was like, if this cat could play and not get hurt, man, he was going to be something, man. But he couldn't stay healthy, so it is what it is. So, yeah, Reddish has smoothness. You can't – the way he would – just every time he would move with the ball, man, I was like, dang, this cat is too much, man. But he couldn't stay healthy, man. His best ability, right? Availability. And he was not available enough, not for Tibbs. That's one thing I like about Tibbs. You show up not available, you out. I don't care how good you are. If you ain't ready when I call you, you ain't playing. Period. Yeah, Cam is playing in Europe. Maybe he probably averaged 40. Shoot, if he don't get hurt. Yeah, because Reddish can ball, man. When he's healthy, he can ball. But anyway. So, that's right. Frank Nitti is the chairman of the pulled groin department of Anthony Ambulance University, charter member, board of directors. But what I liked about Frank Nitti was I've never seen him out of position on defense. Never seen him out of position on defense. Always in perfect position on defense. Just couldn't stay healthy, man. I don't know, old school player. I got to figure, look, you seen Tyler Kolek last night? In the last few games, Tyler Kolek's been negative. Am I lying to y'all yet? So I'm saying he had a flash in the pan where he was looking good, but now he's not ready for prime time, right? I think maybe Coach Brown is thinking Jameson's the same way. I like Jameson, though. I like his game. Yeah, let's leave the cams alone, right, JL? Let's leave the cams alone. I think Tyler Kolek, this is the thing. When you're playing in the NBA, right, you can surprise people when nobody knows your game. They don't know you, right? So, you can come in and surprise people. Like, this last night, and the same thing happened against, who was that? Was it the Lakers? I think it was the Lakers. Where who is it that Jeff Van Gundy works for? He's telling it was Clippers, and Jeff Van Gundy is telling Kawhi Leonard, go get McBride, get McBride. Last night they had Dylan Brooks on McBride. When you first come out, nobody knows your game. You can surprise people, but once they realize who you are and they put attention to you, things change. It's like with baseball. You can bring up a pitcher from your AAA and they could be doing business until the league figures out what his pitches are, what he does, when he throws the curve, when he throws off speed, then they start tagging him, right? That's what Tyler Kolek came out, showed the toughness, showed the defense, showed that he could shoot. And then people say, oh, this guy, we know what to do with him. And they counted it. That's why he's struggling right now. With Deuce, they didn't realize he could shoot, and he started shooting. Now they're putting guys like Kawhi Leonard on him, like Dylan Brooks on him. Not that it matters, because Deuce is still doing business. But that's what they do. That's right. Like Coach Holland, they realize your tendencies and they counter you. The league is really good about that. They realize your tendencies and they count. Yeah, they were leaving DeWar wide open. They were. And, they should, because the boy wasn't shooting nothing. But he's still a rookie, young years old. But, yeah, and that's why I say Brown is – I know he's trying to develop these youngins, but we got games to win, man. You can't be playing. It's time to tighten up this rotation. Now, last night we were missing 2 key pieces, so he had to play the boy. But let that boy – next summer is going to be Diawara's summer, and it's going to be – they're going to Dink Pate's summer next summer. It's going to be Diawara summer and Dink Pate summer. Every year you get somebody that's ready for that breakout. There was a time, remember now, Obi and IQ missed the summer league because that year was the COVID year. So they got the summer league the next year and they dominated. Then Deuce had his turn in the summer where he was just dominating. It's time next year for Pate and for Diawara. Right now, Diawara is not ready for prime time, but he can still play NBA level defense. He just can't shoot right now. That's right. And Deuce had his 23 on 5 3-pointers and then 4 times getting to the basket, man. It's floaters and mess. Did you see him steal the inbounds pass? Did you see him back up to the 3-point line calmly and flat out shoot that baby? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and OG was aggressive last night. I was a little concerned. OG hit the floor hard a couple times. Y'all seen that? He hit the floor hard. You know what made me smile, though? When that boy broke his nose on OG head. I was like, good for him. Well, that boy's name, that dirty behind player. He's in the dirty behind player league with Dane and Brooks, and he's a dirty behind boy. Yeah, when he broke his nose, I said, good for your behind. And then they busted Dylan Brooks and his grill too. Yes, I said, yeah. There you go. But tomorrow night, we're gonna hopefully have our full contingent, y'all. I'm really looking forward to that. Let's get the full contingent. And I don't want to hear nothing. They wasn't a good team the next beat. Listen, we looking for a dub right now. I don't want to hear, oh my God, that wasn't a 500 team. I don't want to hear it. We looking for a dub. Let's get this dub. Let's bring out the contingent. Let's get this dub. Get right, exactly. Speaking of get right, hey, baby, it's time for us to go. Time for us to go, man. We got to go meet some peoples. Listen, always fun to talk Knicks with people that like the Knicks. Not no bandwagon, jump on, jump off, people that need psychiatric help, fools. Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm down on the coastline, down here in, where we at? We in Sarasota County, Florida, visiting some peoples, today. We're getting ready to see them in a little bit. But yeah, y'all are the real deal. Like Coach Hauser still here, Guilford, Toole, Andrew, Clint, Drake, y'all still here. Because we ain't giving up on the Knicks because they got a little losing streak. It is what it is. We all believe. That's the first thing. We believe. We coming back, right, Drake? We coming back. We gonna be back. Yo, we back. We coming back. You think we finished? We ain't finished yet. We still got business to do. We got business to do. Oh, is it? It's not. It's not raining. Oh, it's cloudy though, but it's not raining. Come on. We in yeah, we in Sarasota County. We're not. We yeah. That's right, Andrew. That's right. Let's go Knicks. That's right. That's right. For good, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of the weekend. Let's get this dub tomorrow in MSG. Get everybody back. Tell Jalen Brunson, y'all, pass the daggone ball tomorrow. Don't be hogging it. We got plenty of shooters. We need that ball to move. 30 assists, right? 30 assists, not 20. 30. Okay? Let's do that. Yeah. Ooh, Jalen, snow. Don't mention snow, man. Damn. Y'all be safe out there. Happy MLK.